Hello, welcome back. So the last video I did about unpopular opinions of cleaning products did well, so I'm going to do another one, but this time I'm going to talk about the vacuums. So my unpopular opinion about these new nowadays fancy vacuums. Keep in mind the vacuums that I'm talking about are vacuums, I think I own at least 3 of them, and some of them I've seen online, and this is just my opinion about a lot of these nowadays vacuums, these newly made vacuums. So let's begin with the wet and dry vacuums. So the first one is the I think there's a popular brand one. I don't have that one. I have the BISSELL version to it, something similar. So maybe it's the BISSELL, but I believe that I think it's a basic wet vacuum thing. It's meant to like clean up, you know, messes, wet messes, etc. I find that using it when the stains or the spill is fresh is very important. So using it when the stain is fresh makes sense. From the ones that I've experienced, if you spill something right now, it makes sense to go get it and clean it up right now. So if the kids spill something and let's say you didn't see it right away and you were able to clean it up, it does take a bit more effort to get it out using those vacuums. I do have the BISSELL mop wet dry vacuum, and for me that's the experience. You know, if let's say they spill something and there's a bit of stickiness there, I do have to go over it a couple of times to make sure I can get it out, to get the stain out. So if you're looking to use that vacuum as a replacement for your regular carpet vacuum, like probably saying, you know, you don't need a regular vacuum, I think you still do need a regular vacuum. This is not a replacement for your regular carpet vacuum. It's not a replacement for your regular rug vacuum. Maybe if you have very light rugs, like a thin ones, maybe area rugs, they can probably work for that. But I wouldn't want this vacuum for like my entire home, like my regular carpet. I have used it over my carpet before, and I will say it does okay. You know, it all depends on how dirty the carpet is or clean, but it will take up new stain. It's not something that's going to take up very old stains. You know, if something spills right now, I can go ahead and get it to kind of vacuum out that stain or whatever spills. In regards to using it on the dry setting for your home, I wouldn't recommend it for that. And even if you're going to use it on a dry setting for your home, it's quick vacuum. Nothing, I don't think it gives deep vacuum your carpet. I think it gives surface level. I think it gives something just spilled 2 seconds ago and there's some dirt there and you want to lift it up. That's the type of energy I'm getting from these vacuums. And I feel like after you use one, that's probably it's across the board. You know, people might have different experience, but I'm not going to buy a next wet dry vacuum just to try out the roller. That's the next thing. So the roller on the BISSELL one, maybe that's an issue too. Maybe if you're looking to get one, maybe get one with a different type of roller. If that's the case, I was doing some research and most of the rollers are the same. They're round and have the fur type of thing at the bottom, and I think that is good for your wood floor, your tile. Okay, so that's the next thing. The different types of roller on each of these wet dry mop might do a better job, but I know for the BISSELL one, that roller that's on it is perfect, and I've seen it on other ones. It is great for your tile, your wood floor, and probably just a little bit for your carpet. It not gonna do much to it. That's my experience with it. I was looking for a new vacuum because I wanted an upgrade, and my vacuum works, but I needed some replacement parts, and I can't really find them online because I have an older vacuum. I've had it since 2016 or 17 and it's still working. So it's like, all right, you know, if I'm going to get an upgrade, I can get one of those, you know, fancy ones, and hopefully it can vacuum my carpet. Now, after doing that and doing my research, I did do research for this, and I watched a video, and the video clearly said if you're looking for a vacuum to go over your carpet, but you also want a wet, though it has the wet feature, then this vacuum would be it, the BISSELL one. So I was like, okay, because I watched the other one them and them say wet dry, but most of them are from the floor. Yes, I can use it in the house, but you know, not as much. So I said okay, and I went ahead and I purchased this one because why not, right? After using it, I realized that this cannot be my permanent vacuum, my heavy duty vacuum for my carpet. My carpet needs a lot more suction. It just needs a lot more roughness to it. That would be my advice to you if you're looking for any of these wet dry vacuums and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to get one of these and it's going to do my carpet. Some of them might work, but in my experience, it doesn't work for a full carpet. So you want to take that into consideration as well, that if you buy this, you might have to go buy an actual vacuum for your carpet. And especially the brand that I have, the BISSELL, the deep cleaning that I would want for my carpet, that's not going to provide me that type of deep cleaning. Now let's get into the traditional vacuums, the big back vacuums, and the modern day vacuums, right? Carpet vacuum. The modern day vacuums, I like how they look. I like how cutesy they are. You know, they just look, they have a little humph to them. And they have a lot of benefits. You know, you can separate them, break them apart, use them to vacuum your stairs. It is lightweight. Them can pass around. They have little slender, probably gonna post a picture of one. They have the little slender stick thing in the middle, so it's not as big back as the other one. So you can push it on. You know, it go on with itself. However, I don't like, I feel like the suction in them isn't what I would want. I've noticed a lot of them have very small containers. So with that being said, I feel like you'll have to empty, depending on if you're doing a deep cleaning, right? And you know, you have some dust. You probably not vacuum your house in a 1-2 day. So now you have to go use that vacuum. After using that vacuum, the container, I don't think the container is big enough. I feel like those containers are small. So you're going to have to be changing them more frequently while you're vacuuming, depending on how large your house is, right? So it can, if you have a smaller home, not too much carpet, then yeah, definitely probably can work. And it definitely is fancy and I can love it. But I just prefer a bigger, more heavy duty vacuum. In my opinion, the modern day ones, they're nice. You can go ahead and spend your money and get it. Like if you're okay with the container being a bit smaller and it just not, to me, I don't think the suction power is just the same as a big bag vacuum. Everyone is different. Maybe someone else will have it and say, you know, it worked for them and they like the suction power. That's fine. My unpopular opinions about it. And I also feel like a lot of the modern day vacuums are created for aesthetic and you might have to replace them sooner than later. And that's just my opinion about them. None of this takes away from the good that it's just, before you purchase it, take those things into consideration. So when I talk about traditional vacuums, I'm talking about like a shark. I'm going to show you the shape of a shark and I'm pretty sure there's other vacuums that have that shape. But when I want to deep clean, that's what I need. I don't want the modern day fancy vacuums. That shark, that strong vacuum with the old school traditional suction power and just the firm, everything about it works for me for daily vacuum, deep cleaning vacuum. It just worked for me. And just like that, it is a bit heavier. You can separate it as well, and I do use it on the stairs, but I'm not gonna lie, it could be a little bit lighter, a little bit dainty for use on the stairs, but that's still not gonna deter me from it because when I use that to clean, it really cleans. So I prefer to have a big back vacuum. I'm at the point where I've had mine for 7 years now. If I can find them online, then I'll probably just replace the parts and try to like fix it up myself. But when I do want to get a new vacuum, I don't want a little posh vacuum because I feel like if I get a posh vacuum, I'm gonna end up getting a big back vacuum, like a traditional vacuum, old school vacuum eventually. Also, if you're getting those wet dry vacuums to replace your mop, in my opinion, I don't think these vacuums can replace a mop. They haven't mastered the technology for it to replace a mop. Let me tell you why. I've used it to mop before, to clean up, you know, like daily thing in the kitchen. But when I'm deep cleaning, I still use the mop because I need the mop to like rub out certain parts in the corner, you know, get underneath certain areas. And then there's certain stains where you kind of need a mop. Or because sometimes I use the wet dry vacuum and I have to go down there and get a cloth and wipe out the stain because the wet dry vacuum is kind of taking too long. So I have to go down there and like do it myself. So before you decide to buy one, or maybe you'll have two of them, like I have two of them, but I started out with a big box. So before you decide to purchase one, then, you know, take those things into consideration. If you decide to still get one, that's fine. If you're okay with that, fine. But for me personally, if you're somebody like me will like the suction and the traditional vibe of the big back vacuum, the traditional vacuum, then definitely get it, you know. Now, would you say it's worth it? I would say 50-50. Let me tell you why. It can be convenient, like if you're there and the spills happen while you're there, then it's convenient because you can go ahead and you can vacuum and clean the spill right there, right then, and clean it up, and you don't have to get your mop and dip it in water and stuff. The next part of that is, depending on the stain, if the stain is old, you probably have to get a vacuum, or you're going to have to keep going over that over and over again. You're going to have some patience. So it all depends. But these are my unpopular opinion about these two types of vacuum, and I felt like I need to do this because I feel like a lot of these products are so hyped up, and most of the time when it's promoted, only promoted by the pros. So kind of think about the cons with it as well. And you don't have to get your cleaning products because of aesthetic. You can get the ones that work, and get the ones that work for you. Aesthetic shouldn't matter with your cleaning products because you're the one using it. No one is seeing it but you. So get what works for you. But I needed you to take that into consideration. With that said, until next time.